think it's funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention, what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We're talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We'll be talking with players, builders, coaches, and fans who have made this great game what it is today. It's time to educate, empower, and elevate. Let's go!
Welcome back, Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We are back, but this time with a special Talking Beanpot edition. I am joined by a senior forward for Brampton, Ontario, probably a Leafs fan. It's controversial. Leave that alone. 2022 gold medalist with Team Canada at the IIHF U18 Women's Worlds. 4-year player and alternate captain who's in the midst of her best statistical season. I call her MF Holly Abela, which stands for mistake free, but you can put your own spin on that. Holly, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
No, I'm psyched we could do this ahead of the Beanpot. I mean, especially I wanted to have one of the quote unquote older. I mean, you guys are all like in your 20s, but one of the older veterans, because you're going into your 4th Beanpot, which is you were there from the first step at the Garden, from the old, on campus games. So big changes.
I'm old now.
Yeah. What are you, like 20, 21, 22?
21.
Yeah, you're old. Oh, God. So this year, the preliminary matchup is at Walter Brown, and then the final is at TD Garden for the 3rd year. Let's talk about Beanpot. Let's say, so coming from Ontario, well, you played at Mississauga, right?
Mississauga for a couple years, and then Brampton for my last year.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You ever play at Westwood, Chesswood, either of those?
Yep.
No, yeah, I've played on those. Just drop into, I was a national champ myself, beer league. Talk about what you knew, if anything, coming from Canada about the Beanpot before you got to Northeastern.
So honestly, I can't lie, not much initially, but when I was like looking at schools around when the rule changed and everything about when you could commit, I came to visit. And I initially came to visit BU, actually, and they were in the midst of talking about Beanpot, and I hadn't heard of it. And my dad's like, no, you got to bring that up, when you go visit and talk to them about it. It's huge. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll bring it up. But I ended up doing a presentation back home for school about the Beanpot and about how big it was and how that's kind of where I wanted to go. But initially, coming in, you don't realize how big of a deal it is, though, until you're there in that week and you hear all the seniors talk about it. And it's hey, this is huge. This is where, we go. So it's really exciting.
It can be I equate it to people that don't know, I don't know how much you know about college football, but Ohio State, Michigan's a huge rival. Yeah. And if they beat each other, no matter what happens the rest of the year, they consider that year a good year. Yeah. So you can lose Hockey East. You can be, at the bottom of the standings, but if you win the Beanpot, that's, wins the whole, that makes the season. It can save it,
It brings a lot of momentum too to the year for sure.
For sure. And there are sometimes I've seen teams, not you, I'm not saying just you guys, but all the 4 teams, they start to overlook opponents heading in, which is a trap, which you guys got to be careful about. Yep. I'm sure the coaches have mentioned that. So going from the preliminary round to the finals, what's the vibe first week versus second week? Does it continually ramp up as it goes?
It definitely ramps up, but we're very heavy emphasis on we're focused on this first game. Dial in for the first game. We're not thinking ahead. You have to be focused in on your first opponent, because at the end of the day, it's one game and that's it. So you have to be dialed into that game. You can't be looking too far ahead, or else it could bite you in the butt. So,
and you guys have BU the first one, which is they want payback.
Yep. Yeah. That's been the finals the past 2 years. So it's going to be huge, and it's at their home barn. So we're hoping to, upset there.
Nice. So you came in with a big freshman class. It was Lily Shannon, Christina Allard, Mia Langlois, Jules Constantinople, Lily Brazes, and you. You've had some transfers
Mhm.
along the way as well. But what's this mean? This is your fourth Beanpot with those guys. I mean, this is everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's everything. It's been so exciting too to see like the progression of everything, especially from the first year not playing in the garden to now playing in the garden. But being part of like those, I guess, like historic years
Yeah.
when you transferred to the garden and having the first ever women's beanpot there was so cool. But our class is awesome. Like I think this year we have a heavy emphasis on like, I mean, when we were freshmen, we felt it too, like the heavy emphasis from our senior class. So now as seniors, we know what it takes to, bring it home. So we're super excited and we share that with the freshmen every week. So that's super fun.
That first year that that was the last year of I used to call them the 600-point line, with Alina Mueller, Chloe Arard, Maureen Murphy, Mia Brown. I don't want to miss
Yeah.
Mia. Um, you go that transition from you deer in the headlights then to now being looked upon at alternate captain, one of the leaders, and you're like, all right, everybody keep cool. I mean, what's that been like for you?
Honestly, it kind of gave me goosebumps of you talking about it, but it's just such a different point in time. Like I just felt so young at the time. Like I like just genuinely didn't know what to expect. And like you have that, if you talk to any of our coaches, like me coming in as a freshman, they'd say like huge strides of like me speaking. Like I used to be like this quiet person
Oh,
who like didn't speak at all. And then you hear me now like confident enough to like voice my opinions and talk to coaches. I think maybe I said all of like 2 sentences to Coach Flint my freshman year. So it's definitely a big switch, but one that I was excited to take on this year. And I think it's been going super well. So yeah.
nice. Some I've talked to other players. Like I remember Lily Jovetic talked about to me how her stick was broken in warmups and all her passes were going all over the place, and she was freaking out. And Katie Knoll has confessed, and it's clear if you watch the video on Skylar Irving's overtime goal,
Mhm.
Katie stopped skating. She was gliding. If you watch that, Katie glided in from like the red line, and if Irving didn't score, that was coming back the other way and everyone was flat foot. So those kind of things. And I've talked to some players that were on the bench and like that don't even like a backup goalie, that heart rate
Mhm.
monitors is through the roof. Is there stuff that you remember from each of the different as a player from like little things like that?
Um, yeah, our heart rate monitors is the funniest thing. I think Scurv is probably the funniest story ever. When she scored our first year in the garden,
Yeah.
send it into to tie it up, and then in overtime she scored again.
Right.
I think she ran off the tunnel and threw up after every goal
Really?
because she was so high, like her emotions and everything, and it was hilarious. Like it's like it was the biggest joke coming into the next year, um, and then it was the same game we go Scurv, like like keep it down this year. But it was so funny. But it's always the first shift that you get out there, or like the first warm up, you're skating around, you're like, don't fall, don't trip. And you tell all the freshmen, it's just like, get those first 2 minutes in and then you're chilling. But
Right.
I think those are like the funniest parts I remember. Yeah, the heart rate monitor is a big one. Like for me, as somebody who I've had different roles in each year of my Beanpots. So freshman year, obviously, I think I was like 4th line, and then I was second for my for the first one in the garden, and then playing on different lines each year. Heart rate stayed the same, I think, throughout each one, because like even on the bench, you're just like emotions are so high.
Right.
So I'm in the red the entire time, and I think maybe I had 4 or 5 shifts, and it's like maybe that's like not good for you, but good for me, I guess.
Hey, you made it through. I've also had players tell me they get caught up giving away pucks at the end of
Oh,
warmups. Have you fallen into that trap? Because there's so many kids around the glass.
I haven't. I don't know. I felt always like we run out of pucks though, so I'm not surprised to hear that. But whenever we're at the garden, everyone's at warmups and like they're like, "Oh, I think I shot like 2 pucks. Like, where'd they all go?" everyone's like, oh, like I gave one over here and I threw one over there. And we're like, oh God,
That explains
we
it.
ran out. So
That's the budget right there.
yeah.
So we've talked about the preliminary round versus the finals. What was it like for you? You guys all knew you were going to be playing at the TD Garden 2 years ago for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
I assume there were ways that you guys dealt with that pressure going in and the anxiety. But going into the Garden, like I can tell you from my perspective, when I walked into the press area, I was like, someone's going to grab me and be like, hey, you're not supposed to be here, is what I felt like. Going in, it was a huge
Mm-hmm.
imposter syndrome. They're like, oh, hi, yes, here's your credential. And I was like, I kept waiting for someone to be like, no. So
Yeah.
I can imagine what it was like for you guys, because that's an NHL rank. That's big time. The lower bowl was full at the first game.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? What do you remember from that?
It was so surreal. I probably blacked out for a little bit of it, can't lie. But I think the first memory I have of that year was when we first won it, like at Harvard, the prelim round. Because when you win that game, you just like, you take it, you're like, oh my God, we're playing championship game in the Garden now. That buzzer sounds, everyone's like juiced to the roof because you're like, oh my gosh, we get to play for the title at the Garden. Like we can be the first ever team to do this. So that was insane. And then walking in, you get there, there's cameras everywhere. There are people filming everything. It's insane. Like you feel so like valued and appreciated, which was so unreal. But I think going out there, the biggest thing is like everyone was just like stay within the glass, because for me, I remember my first shift, I was like, puck came on my stick. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, first shift, like chip it in deep, let's go, like get the puck. And then after that, nerves are calmed and like you're set and ready to go. But genuinely your heart has probably, like my heart was racing so fast. But it was super awesome just to play and like be on the same ice that NHL players are on, that PW players have gotten the chance to play on as well. And then like there was a ceremonial puck drop too, where we had previous alums come in and drop the puck. So we had Aaron and Alina come and they dropped the puck, which was so cool. And they were so jealous. They were like, oh, I wish we could have had this opportunity. And it's just like, wow, like it hits you. It's so amazing and so cool to have that chance. So yeah, it was awesome.
Did you catch yourself looking at the crowd during the game at all?
Can't lie, I was looking for my parents.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair,
I was trying to spot them out. It took me a while though, because like I'm a no phone. Everyone's on our team's a no phone, like 2.5 hours prior to games. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So when we get there, no phones. So they didn't tell me where they were sitting. I had no idea. So I'm looking, trying to spot them out. But I go up for my first shift and like everyone's sitting down and I looked at the bench and my dad stood up and started waving.
Oh, nice.
So he wanted to make sure I knew where he was. But other than that, honestly, try to play like within the glass. It helps so much because
that's a good expression. I like that.
Yeah, because when I start looking around and I'm getting distracted, I think it just like it takes you out of the game. So we tell that to a lot of our freshmen to like play within the glass.
Are you one of those players that like your first shift, and this could be in any game, because you've played NCAA tournament games, you played Hockey East games, championship games. So any of these big type games, are you one of those players that like, I need to throw a shoulder. I need to go up against the boards with someone to feel like in the game kind of thing?
I think, yeah, definitely a little bit. I'm like definitely an energy spark is what I think people would consider me and like our line. So when we get out there, we're like, we're nails, like we're balls to the walls, like let's go, like let's like never stop moving my feet. And then hopefully like we're on the forecheck. I think we always like to start with a solid forecheck because that's one of our strongest parts of our games. And when we get the puck in, like we're just going and hoping to, throw a body in there somewhere. But just get on them hard and like set the pace, I think is like really a key part of how I like to start. And I think that kind of helps set the tone for me in my game, like the rest of the way through. So
that makes sense. So it's you're skating with Brazis and McDermott, right? Right now, is that your line? Mm-hmm. So now Brazis is, she's local. She knows what it's all about. How have you guys prepared Emmy? Right, because this is her first year. She's nails too, man. I like the way she plays. Your line's probably my favorite. I mean, look at there's every line has something to offer, but you guys, because I look at you guys, and I'm like, that's how I would play if I was, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So how have you guys prepared McDermott for this?
Honestly, we're so centered on the more fun you have, the easier it is to play.
Yeah.
So when we're high energy all the time. So we bring her in, we're like fist pumps all around always. We like gather on the bench and we're always like, here we go, like let's go. This is gonna be a huge, huge one for us. Like let's turn this game around. If like the last shift was not as like hard as we wanted it to be, or like the momentum was like dropping, this is like our chance to go. And so like we bring her up by being just super like positive and cheerful people. Like I feel like our energy is always there. So I think that helps. But we're also like judgment free, like people also like when a mistake happens, we're like, oh my gosh, don't worry about it. Like your effort was there. Next one, here we go. Like forget about it, throw it in the back pocket. Like it's done. Like reset. So I think we're just super like open to like communication on our line. And I think that's helped her a lot, just settle in and be very comfortable where she's playing. So
nice. I think she's going to inherit the nail gun nickname, actually, from Lily.
Good.
That's the way she plays. Like Carp told me, he was like, "You're going to love the way this one plays."
Mm-hmm.
Once she committed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I want to say this: you've played in 3 Hockey East championships and the NCAA tourney, which we just mentioned. How would you stack them with the Beanpot experience?
So freshman year, Frozen Four has got to be up there.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest experiences. Being able to say like you're in the Final Four, traveling to Duluth, seeing how they deck out like the rink for each
That's some
team
rock
and
star
the
stuff right
amenities.
there, man.
Yeah, it was super cool. And especially like I think that year I'm on the ice with Olympians now.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm 18 years old and I'm sitting there like, oh hey, like you're gonna be in the Olympics next year, like that's cool. Looking at that was really cool. I think I'd measure up the Frozen Four games or that Frozen Four game with Beanpot. I'd say Hockey East, it would be super cool if that could be in the Garden, like the men do it too. I think that would be an amazing stride for women's hockey also in the future. It has been super cool to play in 3 Hockey East championships too. We get a great turnout no matter what school we're at. Our student section is unreal and they travel with us and they come and they cheer us on as loud as they can and it's great. But I think in comparison, you're awesome. But I think in comparison, that Frozen Four game would be comparable to playing Beanpot at the Garden.
Okay.
I just think, like from both sides, you get student sections who are just rowdy. You can hear it all through all the fans. I think the pressure is just so high, and it just makes it such a fun environment to play in. Yeah.
You know, it's funny you talk about the noise and stuff. Something funny about the TD Garden. When you're in the press box on the 9th floor, you can't really hear the crowd, but the way the acoustics are, we can hear you guys on the ice talking to each other. Really? It's the craziest thing. And we have to be 60, 70 feet above ice level, and we can hear you guys calling to each other like so clear. Maybe it was where I was sitting in the press box. It's a weird thing.
I've actually heard that. It's so funny too, because I feel like you don't realize that. You think like it's so like you think your voice is being muffled out by so many things.
Right.
But then you go and you watch like even in Matthews, when we go and watch like our men's team play or like a different game going on, you can hear it like very clearly, like depending on where you sit, maybe. But you can hear it. And I'm like, wow, okay. So let's watch my mouth.
I think it's expected. As long as the TV doesn't pick it up, you guys are good. So we talked about like you're out there with Olympians and future pros, now pros. Have you I don't even know how to say this. With the way the women's sports in general are growing, do you feel, and you know, like my co-host is on the committee with Mary Chiampa to sell out the Garden, Boston Unites, all that. Do you feel that that pressure, not pressure, I guess it's a privilege, right? Not pressure, of representing like a huge women's sport item on the calendar, and all those kids there watching you guys. Do you guys talk about that, or do you ingest that? How do you guys deal with that?
Oh, 100%. I think each year that it's grown, it's just been more and more of an emphasis to like do it for those young girls who are watching. And especially here at Northeastern, like we have a culture that's centered around, hey, like you're representing our school and you're representing like a huge community that's around you. And like you're wearing this logo for a reason. So you're going to represent it in the best way you can. And definitely having like an A this year too makes that even more important. Like you lead and you make sure you're leading by example. But we ultimately want to do it for those young girls who now can see that they have the opportunity to do this as well. And the more that it grows, they get more inspired. And I think that's so amazing. And we brought up Lily Jovetic at the beginning of this, just seeing her video again resurface.
Yeah.
She was my roommate last year here. So just an amazing role model for women's sports also. And I love to see how the game has grown. So definitely anytime that we get put on a stage like this, we are thinking of those young girls. I think we're even potentially thinking about wearing like youth jerseys for our team to like represent.
For the garden or for the preliminary?
Not sure yet. Got to work out the details, but it's definitely an idea that's been thrown around. So
that's cool. That's nice. I like when you guys do that stuff. It's just the walk-in stuff I think is great because it highlights your personalities and everything. I mean, no one touches Brazos, I guess.
No.
From every time I talk to her, whenever we do the lightning round stuff about the team, she's always the hands down winner. But no, that'll be cool. And I will say, talk about leading by example. I've watched you play your whole career at Northeastern, and every phase of the game, all three zones, you are always going full tilt, and it's a great example to set. Your progression to alternate captain's been fantastic. So I'm really happy for you. All right, so we got like 8 minutes. We can bang these. I got a couple of lightning rounds. I feel like we'd be remiss not to do lightning round with you.
Okay.
What would you say is your best on-ice hockey attribute?
My energy.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite cartoon character?
Donald Duck.
Oh. I have a Donald Duck tattoo. I probably should not admit that on the podcast, but I do. When I went to Disney World as an adult with my now wife, we went, I don't know what the reason was. We were in Florida, so we decided to go. And I met Donald Duck, and I was more nervous than like meeting like pro players. I knew it was just some kid in a costume, but I was like, oh, it's Donald Duck. I'm gonna have to edit all this out. Would you rather have the ability to speak any language in the world or talk to animals?
Speak any language in the world.
All right. In your career, have you spent more time on the PK or the PP, and which do you prefer?
PK. Definitely spent more time on the PK. I think I prefer the PK. It's such a momentum shift. I don't know. It's like you got nothing to lose, so you just go. And
it's nothing better than being a forward on PK because I play B and forward. Forward on PK is the best. Yeah, I'm with you on that. How do you? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you pick?
Canada, Toronto, Ontario.
I was gonna say you're not gonna narrow it down. You're just gonna.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I haven't traveled enough, so I actually can't say.
That's fair.
So once I travel, I might have different.
Dude, Canada's a good pick. So you're okay there. How do you tape your stick and what color?
Okay, weird. I use white, but I go toe to heel. That's a very controversial.
Toe to heel.
Yeah, so I start at the toe and I go down to the heel and I end it there. A lot of people start at the heel and go up towards the toe. So I think that's definitely a little controversial, but I've been doing it my whole life. That's how my dad used to tape my stick. So
thin tape or wide do you go?
Wide tape.
Yeah. So I go heel to toe and then I go back down.
Oh.
Yeah. And then heavy and then heavy wax.
Wow. Okay. I do wax after too. But just one.
So I never shoot. I like to pass. That's probably why. I
You got
blame
a lot of cushion though on your passes though.
that buttery soft. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Start, bench, or cut. Sushi, pizza, ice cream.
Start, sushi. Wait, no. Start, ice cream. Bench, sushi, cut, pizza.
Okay. Controversial. Well, that's a tough
Yeah.
one. It's a tough one. When me and my daughter saw you, we were on our way to Symphony Sushi, actually.
Really?
But,
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
You can't mention Matthews. We'll have you back on to talk about Matthews. Favorite and least favorite rinks you played at?
Favorite? I do like UConn's new rink.
Oh, yeah.
I like
With
that.
the Toscano?
Toscano.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I think least favorite is Schneider Arena at Providence.
It's so dark. So
Yeah.
dark. Is it dark on the ice too?
No, it's actually really bright.
Oh, all right.
But I don't know. There's
Yeah,
nothing
no,
there.
it's
There's
fine.
no character. There's no.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah. I don't know. Not the
You're only
great.
gonna be there. You're only gonna be there tomorrow, but sure.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll release this after the game so no one can.
Please. Yeah. Thanks.
Your own music festival, the Abela Music Festival. Pick your top 3 artists, living or dead.
Okay. The Lumineers,
Okay.
Zach Bryan,
Yep.
and Morgan Wallen.
All right. I knew all 3 of those. Pretty good. And the last one, most famous person in your phone.
Alina Mueller.
I know I was gonna have to say we should start saying, but you can't say Alina or Frankel. But no.
Yeah, okay. Like Jamie Lee Rattray.
That's pretty big. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple minutes. I want to ask you one last question because if anyone listening to this has listened to the morning skate, they know I have a borderline obsession with Jerome McGinley, and I know you played with Jade on the U18. Have you ever met Jerome? Do you have a story?
I did. When I was at U18s, he came to the game, so we were all taking pictures with him after the game. So
God, the best.
Yeah, that was
Someday.
fun.
He's my dream guest someday.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, they were playing at Dartmouth, and I happened to be in Dartmouth, so I went to the game, and I must have circled Dartmouth like 3 times during the game. I'm like looking for him.
Around. Yeah.
He wasn't there though.
I would be too.
But still a good game.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you taking some time out in the prep running up. Last one. I forgot this. You got 2 minutes. Sell someone who's never been to the Beanpot on going.
Okay. TD Garden, so historic. Bruins, Celtics play there. Now your women's team is playing there. Best rivalry, student sections in women's hockey. Boston, amazing city. Go visit, take a walk around the North End afterwards, enjoy the city. Then come and see the girls battle as hard as they can. And then see the banner rise at the end of the game with who wins. Hopefully it's Northeastern.
2 games for the price of 1. Some of the best hockey in the country. And I feel like everybody's game elevates for this tournament. So you could be the number 4 team in the nation versus someone who's not even ranked. And it still nails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, competition through the roof.
For sure. First game, Tuesday the 13th at Walter Brown, and then the championship game and the consolation game, the 20th at TD Garden. Tickets are available now. I think they're as low as like $20. So for 2 games, I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
Look for number 10 out there. She'll be going full tilt every shift. And hey, we'll see you. We'll see you at the game. And thanks, Holly, again for doing this.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Long overdue.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you soon.